Hiya, I'm Jasper, and welcome to your video review for The Sound of Freedom. It's a movie starring Jim Caviezel. So, as always, I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the furry. To start with the furry, there isn't any. Moving on to the good and the bad. So, this is a movie where Jim Caviezel stars as, it's based on a true story, and he's a guy who works for Homeland Security, taking down pedophiles and just arresting them for all the things that they're doing. And then a case comes along that gets to him where he is able to help recover one of the children, and that causes him to want to continue actually going and recovering the children rather than just arresting people. And this is his story going into essentially like Colombia and where all these traffickers are. So what I will say is that when I only saw a little bit of the preview for this movie because I was like, okay, it's got Jim Caviezel, I'm gonna go watch it, it's great. So I stopped watching the preview. I thought it was gonna be a little bit more of like Taken or the Rambo movie that was just called Rambo. More of that style where he just goes in and kills a bunch of motherfuckers, and it was not that. So if you go in there expecting like guns blazing, action movie, dude getting revenge or getting people back from that were kidnapped, yada yada, it's not that. It is much more, and as you can assume from it being based on a true story, it's much more based in reality where like this is a guy who works for law enforcement trying to take down these people in the law enforcement way of like arrests and that sort of thing. It's still a good movie, just not exactly what I was expecting, and then also it's obviously a very difficult subject matter. It doesn't go quite like Straw Dogs level of like, ooh, showing you the thing that makes you really uncomfortable. But I would say that it probably goes to a little bit more than Taken level of showing you the thing that makes you uncomfortable. So just be prepared mentally that this is not necessarily like the happiest of movies, but it's not overly gratuitous. But you know what's happening, and you get that feeling. But you also don't get the like, are they doing that to the child actors in this movie for the sake of this movie? Like, you don't get that feeling because they, like, how they cut things and whatnot, like, they would do it appropriately, where I feel like the actual child actors in this movie weren't traumatized by helping to make this movie. So, yeah, there's that. The other thing is that I think the last act is a little tacked on. Like, I feel like they kind of had their culmination moment, and that was it. And then the movie kind of continues, and yeah, I think they kind of needed it, but they also could have adjusted that culmination moment. It's sort of like the latest The Batman, where you have that moment, you're like, yeah, this should be the end of the film. Oh, we got a whole nother act going on. Okay, I mean, it's a good act, but it also could have done without it, type of thing. But yeah, so it's a good act, but again, not. I think it draws out the movie just a little bit too long than what it needs to be. That being said, while I know I said that it's a bit uncomfortable of a movie, I think everyone should watch this movie. Or if you don't feel like you're the type of person that can handle watching something like this, they have a website called angel.com/freedom where you can purchase tickets for other people to see. Or if you're not in as good of a position financially to go and see this in theaters, you can go there and get a free ticket from the people who paid it forward. And I think that's a great way to get out the message of this movie, because I think the message of this movie about child trafficking and, things that it should be more in the public conscious to try to do more to stop it, I think that is an awesome, awesome message for this film. And so that's why I think you should watch it, even if the last act is drawn out a little bit too much. But overall, the message of this movie, the pacing, other than that, is fine. The acting is phenomenal. There's a couple little, obvious edits, but I think it's just to get the best take from one of the child actors, and I'm fine with that in this case. And the sets and wherever all they use, I think that those were just spot on. Like, it never looked like they were using a set for the budgetary purposes. Like, it looked like they were actually in these different areas, and it never got too dark or anything like that. So yeah, just really good film. Personally, I'm used to seeing Jim Caviezel as like a dark-haired guy, so his blonde hair was a little a little weird for me personally, but I think it matches the person who his character is based off of, so that's fine. But yeah, go ahead and check this movie out, or I'm going to put a description down below, a link for that way to get either free tickets or to give free tickets. So just do that and help this movie get into the public consciousness. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you at the next one. Bye.